do people think it's okay to invade other people's privacy? Why would anybody think that it's okay to walk in on someone when they're taking a shower or a bath? My own grandparents did that to me, and so I was fleeing from that situation, only to find myself in the exact same situation, all while trying to return to God and get into a church. Not that I had ever technically left God, it's just that the medication that was forced upon me basically made me to where I no longer had a relationship with God or anyone for that matter. I'm pretty far into the story, so you might be missing out on a lot unless you go back and listen to some of my previous videos. So in the last video I left off where I ran into a guy that was watering his lawn and I asked him to use his phone. At some point in time he asked me if I was thirsty, and I was, so I actually went ahead and accepted a drink from him. I'm still to this day not sure if he spiked that drink or if I was just really tired. I was feeling really gross because I was stranded and lost in a desert for like 2 days and had been wandering the streets overnight. So I needed a shower, and I asked him if I could use his shower, and he said okay. This wasn't like immediately, this was like after like a long conversation, and after I really thought I had scoped out whether or not I felt it was safe to do so. I figured after being there for, I guess, an hour or so, if he was going to do something to me, he would have already had attempted to do something. I look back now and I think to myself, that was really stupid. Why would you take a shower in a stranger's house, especially if it's a dude? But I was 21 and still kind of naive, still thinking that most people in the world had a good heart. I really felt like he just wanted to help me until he walked in on me while I was taking a bath. He didn't attack me or anything. I think he was just thinking like maybe he would try to get with me, but I was just like crying and a complete mess because I thought he was going to attack me, and I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was crying uncontrollably. He consoled me and brought a towel to like help me get out and stuff like that, and you know, he let me just put my clothes on, and then he like kind of consoled me in a way because I was crying and sobbing, and then we walked towards the room and there was like a bunk bed, and he just put me on the bottom bunk bed and he left me alone. And I remember him walking out of the room and I passed out at that point. I honestly don't remember how long I slept, but when I woke up, I was still alone in the room. At that point, I think I came out into the living room and there was a bunch of guys in the house, and that freaked me out. I honestly do not remember what happened after that other than us just talking, and that's it. Like, I remember nothing else. I don't know what happened. It's like I just remember going into the room with a bunch of guys and saying a few things, and then I don't remember what happened. Like, I don't remember if like I went back to sleep or like went back to the other room. I'm not sure. But like it was like there was this lapse of time, and then like at one point of time I remember coming out of the room and there was like 2 or 3 guys there. I remember just like sitting there kind of tripping out and then wanting to leave, and I noticed that the screen door was like undone, and I was just like, I kind of wanted to go. I didn't really know how to tell the guys that I wanted to go because I remember they were still promising to give me a ride. I'm like, oh, like when were you guys gonna take me, you know, to the church? And you know, they kept postponing it and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden this one guy walks in and he has a bag of white stuff, and he looks directly at me and he's like, I know what you want. And I'm looking at him like, wait, is this what's happening? Am I being drugged? And then it's like it just freaking clicked in my brain, and I didn't even know like how long I had been there, or like I didn't really know if I was being drugged. But the moment he said, "I know what you want," as though that's what I had been doing, then I freaked out. I was actually afraid that he was going to force me to use it. And then I was thinking, like, did I get drugged all along? Like, I mean, I didn't even know, but like the moment that he said, "I know what you want," and he had a bag that looked, it was like a huge bag of stuff. And I was just like, my mind was like, I gotta get the heck out of here, like, as soon as possible. And the screen door was like right there. And then when like they were all talking, I just like bolted out the door and ran down the freaking street as fast as I could. And I just ran and ran and ran and ran. I didn't look back. I just kept running, and I was like, I don't know what the heck just happened. I don't know what they've been giving me. If I've been drugged, I'm not sure what's going on, but I am not going to stay around for anything else. So I just ran and ran and ran until I seen people, and it was quite a ways before I saw any females. And because I knew from that moment forward I was never gonna ask any other males for help again, because I kept getting into these bad situations. So there was a group of girls, and they were standing outside talking, and then they saw me, and I was hysterical. And I just remember telling them that I needed help. I needed to get to this church, that I got stranded, and that I was trying to get somewhere. And you know, I just told them the situation. They were super helpful, but like none of them had a car or a way to give me a ride anywhere. And then as we're standing there, like talking and stuff, like I remember at one point in time they invited me in. I was kind of scared to go in, but I think I went in, and I saw some girl going through her like suitcase, and then I was like, who are these girls? And then I was freaked out and thinking, like, what if these girls are also, you know, doing crazy things? Like, who knows? Like, I can't really trust girls either. I can't trust anyone at this point. At some point of time, like, I went back outside because I felt safer outside than being inside someone's house. And lo and behold, a police car started coming down the street, and I honestly don't know if like someone thought that I needed help and called the police because I was crying hysterically and freaking out, or if it was just coincidence that a policeman started driving down the street. I flagged him down because at that point I was thinking, my best bet right now and the safest place for me to be is like with maybe law enforcement. Like, even though I knew that, you know, that hadn't always been the case before, but being stranded in a desert for 2 days and not having any money, any phone, any help, like, or any way to get home, was just like, I need to go and ask the police for help at this point. So I flagged the police down, and I'm like, look, I'm trying to get to this one church. I have the address. Can you please take me there? Because this is where I'm trying to get to, but my ride got messed up and I need help getting there. So I got into the police car, and I was thinking they were going to take me down to the station, because then I could make the phone calls that I needed to make and contact the church, and maybe someone from the police department would give me a ride to the church. Of course, they had a different plan. They took me to a drug rehab unit. But this time I'm not sure if I needed to come off drugs, because I wasn't even sure if I had actually been drugged. I still don't know to this day. They can't seem to find my medical records, so I'm not sure what happened. This was like 30 years ago, and I can't find any records. I don't even know if they did a rape kit and what the results were. But the police said they were taking me to the hospital for a rape kit. If that happened, I don't remember any of it. And I don't remember the results of whether it came back that I did or not. I hope nothing happened. It does mess with your mind when you don't know what happened. blocks of time in my life are missing and I don't remember.